All right, welcome back to the Onebar Lupagus show. The Vikings season is over, which only means one thing.
Free agents?
Off-season talk.
Hell yeah, free agency, the draft. We are going to be jumping in balls first into those waters, and those waters are very nice.
Yeah, and you know, with every offseason comes new hope, new speculation, rumors. There's nothing better. And while maybe 2% of that stuff actually comes true, it's still fun to talk about. And before we get into the free agency talk, we're going to be talking about Vikings free agents. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. So damn close to 2,000. We're going to keep talking about it until we get there, but we are doing a hoodie giveaway, so make sure to subscribe.
And get one with the nipples cut out?
Yes, you can. You can get whatever you want. Whatever you want.
All right. You got a list in front of you? Let's start. Let's just go down this list, see who's coming back, who's not, and maybe who should just hang them up for good.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about upcoming free agents for the Vikings. Before we get into this year's free agency class, and there's a pretty good list. Let's look back just a year ago. There's some pretty hefty names we lost a year ago.
Yeah. Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Kenzie Alexander, just to name a few. And God, would have been nice to have a couple of those guys back this year, especially early in the season.
Yeah, and maybe even Marcus Sherrills. I would have enjoyed him. Yeah, so chances are we're going to lose a handful of these guys, but let's stop talking about the past. Let's talk about the future.
Ooh, wow.
And I'm starting off with a dandy defensive tackle, Jaleel Johnson, 27 years old, finally coming off that rookie contract, which seems like he's been here since the mid-90s.
Yeah, and he really did nothing to earn himself more than a 2-year deal with someone, to kind of a prove it deal. He will not be back. No way in hell. Vikings should not want him back. He just never really. There was flashes here and there, especially toward the end of last year, but he could never just put it all together on the field. So he's not coming back, and I think he'll have a lukewarm market at best. Yeah,
lukewarm. It is surprising. I mean, he started all 16 games, so I guess what he's got going for him is he can stay healthy. Unfortunately, he can stay healthy for the Vikings, but all 16 games, this is supposed to be his shining moment. Finish the year with 1.5 sacks, and that's it. Not much else. You nailed it. I think he gets signed as a guy that potentially adds some depth.
Yeah, and as far as if you're a fan of Jaleel Johnson, what's disappointing is that he's in a contract year this year. He was, and didn't even motivate him to do any better. So maybe he just doesn't have it.
Maybe he doesn't have it. Unfortunately for him, he didn't have guys like Hunter and Pierce up there with him that maybe would have just given him a little more room, but is what it is.
True.
You're right. I do not think he's coming back. I think everyone will be very surprised. Next up, Brett Jones. Bush Jones, 30 years old, started 2 games this year.
Yeah, he's coming back. There's no way in hell he's not at this point. He'll get the veteran deal, whatever his tenure allows for that to be. Vikings love re-signing this guy. I don't know why he keeps coming back. He never gets to play. Like I said, he must just be a ton of fun. I think he just gets wasted. People will do whatever, he'll do whatever people tell him to do. And I think he's probably one of the best guys to have in the shower as far as things he can do with his privates.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he's a blast. And he was a free agent for quite a while this past offseason. Nobody wanted him. Vikings are the only one that wants him. And when he plays, he actually does fairly well. So that's a little bit of a mystery, and he can play multiple spots. Yeah, he'll come back at a very cheap price. I would almost bet my left nut on it.
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
One next guy, which may not be back whatsoever, is another offensive lineman, a 30-year-old man who started 16 games for the Vikings, Dakota Dozier.
Yeah, there's really no reason to bring this guy back. We got a nice long look at what he brings to the table. The only way he would is if we were able to draft and sign another guard that we deemed starters, and you bring him back as a backup piece. But right now, I am leaning toward a heavy no for Dakota Dozier.
Heavy no. 30 years old, rated as one of the worst guards in the entire league. Rightfully so. Did get a career best, probably 4 or 5 sacks, so good for him. But he's gonzo. I could see him. No, I can't. I can't see anybody signing him.
Well, the only thing that gives him a little bit of value is his ability to play tackle too. So if a team's really
badly
want a swing guy, needs someone who can fill in multiple spots, that's the only thing that can make him stick around a little bit longer in the league.
The high hopes I had for Dakota Dozier, even when he was coming out of college.
Yeah, he's been one of your boys who made it home.
All right, next up, the backup quarterback, the man, the myth, Sean Mannion, 29 years old, did not see the field this year.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be back this year. Was kind of surprised when we brought him back. I think he gives you nothing as a backup. Supposedly, he's really good at holding a clipboard and whispering nuggets of information in Kirk Cousins' ear. I don't think he should be back, but I'm going to say there's like a 30% chance he does come back.
It almost seems like him and Kirk Cousins must just have this connection. I mean, because clearly if Sean Mannion gets on the field, we're screwed. He's not very good. He's proven that. But ever since Kirk Cousins here, Mannion's been here. I can't think of anything else. I mean, maybe this is the year, yes, that we bring in a youngster draft pick, whatever. But even if that's the case, I could see him making a case like, hey, I can't think of anybody better than tutoring you than Sean Mannion.
No, I think if we do draft that rookie, especially in the first round, Mannion is gone. So no way in hell he's coming back.
Well, I wasn't thinking round one, but we'll see. I when I close my eyes, I picture them signing him on like April 14th to a 1-year, $1 million contract, which he's done the last 2 years.
When I close my eyes, I end up picturing Kay Adams.
That's it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You should tweet at her and let her know that. It's not creepy at all. Next up, another guy that seems to just kind of stick around. And as we've gone through it, it seems like a lot of our free agents are turds. So we don't appear to want any of them back, but there will be some, believe me.
Yeah.
Next up, 28-year-old kick returner, running back, does it all. Special teams, Amir Abdullah, played in all 16 games, mostly as our special teamer.
Yeah, and this year I didn't see him make the plays as a gunner like he did a year ago. I don't know if they didn't use him there. Maybe that was just Dan Chesina's role.
Dan Chesina stole that role.
So I didn't think he'd be back last year. I don't think he's gonna be back again. I'm sure he has value to some team as a number 3 running back and a return man. So I don't think he's back, but there's a chance. There's a chance.
I actually think there's a very good chance Amir Abdullah is back. Still only 28. He seems to be like a guy that everybody loves. I mean, we're clearly set at running back, and if he rounds up that depth, he's very cheap, young, he can do some things. I think he's going to be back.
Well, we did see more of him this year than I thought we would.
Yeah, he had like 100 total yards between rushing and receiving. So well done. A couple touchdowns, I even believe.
It was late too, right? It wasn't like May after the draft when we signed him. It was.
I think he's going to be back. Next up, another guy. There's a theme to this. Guys that just don't seem to go anywhere else. Rashad Hill, our swing tackle, 29 years old, started the final game. That's all I got on Rashad Hill.
Well, it comes down to this. If Riley Reef comes back as a starter, then maybe Ezra Cleveland will be the guard / backup left tackle, and you don't re-sign Rashad Hill. Save yourself a little bit of money. Yeah, I think he's gone. So
I think, yeah, Riley Reef has a huge will determine whether or not Rashad Hill is even considered to come back. If Riley Reef is gone, they move Ezra Cleveland out there, like you said. I think he'll be their backup, but we'll see. Love the fact that he can play both sides.
Well, you can't imagine teams be banging at his door to sign him. So he should be around. He should be one of those guys you can let sit and simmer for a while and then low ball. We low ball him every year, and he comes back. Next up, a guy that I almost forgot that was here. Played in 4 games, played in those 4 games fairly badly. Safety, George Iloka. Yeah, and he got hurt, right? He always gets hurt. I was surprised he came back because it didn't seem like he enjoyed his first tenure with the Vikings. Here's the thing. He's
not coming back.
Well, no, if you don't re-sign Anthony Harris and you draft, let's say, a 3rd-round safety and you want a veteran who knows Zimmer's system, I'm going to say there's like just a sliver that he maybe does come back late. I'm talking a June signing right before camp gets going because George Iloka will be available. So only chance.
He's been available for like the last 2 years. He was out of football before we signed him.
Well, as bad as he played in that game, it came out afterwards that he never practiced in that position where they put him. So I can't remember whether it was like week 4 or 5, whenever the hell that was. But poor George.
I've always been a Iloka fan, but I see that maybe being gone. So, all right, we got 3 guys left that have some teeth here. I'm going to start off with Anthony Harris because I think we already know this answer. 29 years old, set to hit free agency, probably make some money, even though his year wasn't overly fantastic. Will that money be Vikings money?
I'd be shocked if it was. I think he's gone. I think he's got one good contract left in him. What was he kept at, like, how much was it a year last year?
11.4 million.
Yeah, so his yearly salary is gonna be right around that mark. So he'll be making a lot of money, and it ain't gonna be with the Vikings because they just don't have the room for it.
Yeah. Vikings took a chance, franchise tag, and it did not pay off. 104 tackles, 0 picks, 0 sacks, 7 pass defense. Not great.
A lot of tackles,
but
though.
He might as well just pack his bags and go to Cleveland right now and just wait for free agency to start, because that's where he's going to end up.
I think he already has packed his bags.
Oh, man. Anthony Harris, thanks for your service. Next up, hot Todd Davis, linebacker.
Dancing at, what was it, Party Boys?
Party Boys, 31 years old, made $1 million last year. Well, that was a bargain for the Vikings. Played in 11 games, started 6, had a sack, ton of tackles. What's your thoughts on Todd Davis? Because I got very strong thoughts.
Yeah, I'd like to see him back. As far as backing up Eric Kendricks in the middle, why not? He's a thumper. Not going to help you in coverage. That's for damn sure. But Todd Davis, he can help stuff the old run game, get a little better, couple of better D tackles in front of him. His numbers would have been even better this year. I want Todd Davis back. I'm going to say 50-50.
Wow. Todd Davis, he's no spring chicken. He's 31 years old. But the fact that we got the whole Eric Wilson, Anthony Barr, who's going to be back? What are we going to do there? Close your eyes and picture this. Whoever it is, Kendricks in the middle, Barr or Wilson on the outside. You throw Todd Davis on the other side of that.
I just kept seeing K again. What?
Oh, that's maybe I should close my eyes for a little bit. Putting Todd Davis in with a mixture of Eric Kendricks, Barr, or Wilson, that's a pretty damn good trio of linebackers. So Todd Davis was trying to do a lot of things out there with guys like Troy Dye and Hardy Nickerson. So I don't think we really saw the real Todd Davis.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that whole linebacking core shakes out if they do re-sign Todd Davis. He'll go into camp, no guarantees to make the team. He'll have to earn a spot. So they got guys like Blake Lynch, Troy Dye. If it is Barr who's back, Kendricks. There's going to be some competition there for the backup spot. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But I think he could come back.
I think Todd Davis, I'm going to put Todd Davis at like 70% chance. Either he's back with the Vikings or he's just done.
Wow.
Count it. All right, final guy. And we just talked about him, Eric Wilson, the hot commodity come free agency. Any team who needs a linebacker, Eric Wilson's going to be at the top of their list.
Yeah. Do you have his final stats in front of you?
Yes, he's 26 years old. He made $3.2 million last year. He had 122 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 interceptions, and was just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and he probably dropped another 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
He had some missed tackles, but the guy was trying to do so damn much, especially when Kendricks went out. He was, you said, he was everywhere. He was 30 yards down the field. He was on both sidelines. He was in the backfield. He was running the other way. He's going to make himself some money. I think he played himself off the Vikings roster. Good for him. Good for his family. He's going to get paid. Just it can't be from the Vikings because they cannot afford him unless they cut Anthony Barr, which I don't think they're going to do as long as Mike Zimmer's around.
Yeah. And what you love about Wilson, he's very fired up. He's very into the game. Love seeing that. He is going to make some bank, and some team's going to get a pretty damn good linebacker. But I agree. He's not back with the Vikings. Anthony Barr is going to come back. Whether you love it or not, Barr is going to be here. And Wilson, I think Wilson will probably end up getting a little overpaid, a little more than he probably should get.
I see him in Oakland. I don't know. I just do. Or Las Vegas, I guess.
I could see him there. Oh, hi, Kay. Yeah, I could see him there too. So those are the Vikings free agents. They do have a handful of restricted free agents: Chris Jones, Odenigbo, Mike Boone, Chad Beebe. I would assume they will be back if we want them back.
I think Beebe and Boone are the guys there you'd like to see back. And there's a bunch of guys they can probably cut too. Maybe we'll talk about that a different day. But man, the free agents here, what we say, about 3 or 4 we actually want back from a pretty lengthy list. So that just goes to show just how bad some of the talent was on the Vikings this year.
Yeah. Yep. That's all she gets. That's all we got. Those are our free agents. Remember, subscribe, like the video. We'll be back real damn soon.
And before you do that, remember this. If a polar bear and a grizzly bear mate, their offspring is called a pizzy bear.